What's up, everybody? I'm back to do another custom video for my Pisces peoples. Okay, this one is for Biscayne Brew. Okay, Biscayne is a Pisces sun, has a Leo ascendant and moon in Sagittarius with Venus in Aries. So I'm going to begin with the Leo ascendant, right? This is going to help your Pisces sun because, especially depending on where your Mercury is in Pisces, like if Mercury is actually in Pisces, then it's definitely going to help you a lot. If your Mercury is in Aquarius, on the other hand, then you probably are going to have an easier time expressing your ego because the Leo ascendant is going to be all about your ego. And so you're going to filter your characteristics. You're going to filter your personality, your game face, this is what you show to the world with your Leo ascendant, which is going to be boastful. It's going to be proud. Most of the times it's going to be largely egotistical. And this is great for imaging, right? So when people in the world on a grand level on a stage, they see a figure to like lead the way on how society should be, I guess, or like how a man or woman should be seen as in society. So it'll be no problem for you rubbing shoulders with other people because you know that can catapult you into a position that you seek to obtain. Leo ascendant is also generous people. Be sure that this does not become a fault. You have Venus in Aries, right? So Venus in Aries is also going to help you be a leader because it has that singular energy that, apart from the Leo ascendant, is going to say, I'm going to take charge when I interact with people because Venus is an interacting sign and Aries is the leadership sign. This is going to heighten your presence when you're in leadership positions, and most of the time people are going to expect you to take charge just because of the presence that you bring with a Leo ascendant anyway. Now, the detriment that can come from having a Venus in Aries is the spending, because Leo ascendant is more than likely going to have you spending lavishly, extravagantly, and this comes with putting the tag for people and things of that nature. And as I said, it's a stage thing, so people are going to expect this from you. You're going to step up to the plate when it comes time to do so. However, this can put you into deep debt that if you're not careful, you won't be able to balance that out. Also, Leo ascendants, you may have a gambling issue, so you may want to get into speculative gaming and betting on horses, whatever it is that floats your boat. You might go to the casino a few times here and there. And, you also, there's a flip side to that. There's an upside to this. You will be wise in investments. You may actually look into the stock market and put your coins into that as well. So, for the most part though, Leo's ascendant, that energy right there is going to, they're pretty lucky when it comes to finances. Also, this is going to make you fun-loving, right? People are going to want to approach you because you have this fun aura about yourself that is more childlike than anything. And it's true that Leo ascendant energy is, involved with children a lot, or they like to have children. However, that's not always the case. There's a large energy for entrepreneurship with Leo ascendant there. So you may create different projects, and those will be your babies. You understand what I'm saying? Now you have a moon in Sagittarius, which will balance your whole situation out depending on how you move. Now, there can be a detriment with the moon in Sagittarius because they are irresponsible. They are careless in a lot of matters. And it's because they don't like to follow people's structure or people's rules. Like, they want to do their own thing, which is also great when you're looking to be a leader. However, you can run into some experiences that will bring you to extreme highs and extreme lows from behaving that way. So it's like, to me, Sagittarius is like the luckiest sign in the zodiac wheel, right? And, Jupiter is definitely on Sagittarius' side. However, Saturn smacks everybody. I don't care who you are. And that's what I mean about those extreme highs and those extreme lows. When Saturn gets a grip on you, you'll experience that extreme low because you have to succumb to some type of structure. It has to happen. So if it's going to be your structure, be careful to construct it in a way that is solid so it's not irresponsible. There are a lot of impulsive energy with the placements that you have. So be aware of this and look for where your Saturn actually is, because although Saturn is going to conflict with Jupiter, you're going to learn something from Saturn that can help you, especially in the long run. Now, Sagittarius moon, on the other hand, is going to help out the Leo ascendant because Leo ascendant has that energy is going to put you in positions to where you can get so center stage and self-involved that you disregard, well, not totally disregard the people around you. Like, you will bring people around you to say, okay, yeah, we're doing this. However, it'll really look like it's you doing it yourself. And the stubbornness of a Leo ascendant energy is going to refuse to take the advice of someone else, especially maybe if they're not, they don't have some type of recognition somewhere in some professional matters. And what happens here is they ignore the advice. And that saying that says, it's not the messenger, listen to the message. What Leo ascendant energy fails to realize in these situations and let their ego get in the way is that the message is actually for them. So it's like, it's not a disservice to who they are at all. It's actually say, oh, we see you. Here's the message. And if it's constructive in some type of way, that ego gets bruised so badly that, Leo ascendant energy can ruin a lot of their own plans. This comes with being dogmatic because the Leo ascendant energy is highly opinionated instead of fact-driven. So Sagittarius moon is going to help you tap into higher education realms and, more spiritual matters to say, okay, well, just because they don't have this or they don't have that doesn't mean that they're not valuable. You understand what I'm saying? So you would actually take these things into consideration more than the average person with a different moon would. And since the moon circles around the orbit faster, you will be able to pick this up and nudge your Leo ascendant a lot and say, listen, they're okay, let's hear them out. This is for us. This is for us to listen to, or why else would they be here, telling us these things? We must be able to benefit from this in some type of way. Now, Venus in Aries is going to amplify that Leo ascendant energy because it's going to be all about you, right? You're going to say, I'm going to take charge. I'm going to talk to these people. This is what you need to do with the Venus and Aries energy, right? Is you need to keep going. Like, I know you're going to have this interaction thing about you that's going to say, look, I got an idea. I have a vision as a Pisces sun. I have a goal. How about this? You're going to be shooting your piece to people. And sometimes people may hear you and not respond and not take action. And then you'll be like, okay, fine. There's a possibility for the Pisces sun in you to be discouraged by that type of disregard. However, what I advise is to keep pushing, and don't keep pushing in the same way. Keep pushing in different ways. If that person rejects you, talk to the next person. If they reject you, talk to the next person. And even if they're not rejecting you, or they're saying, give me a few minutes to think about it, or I'll get back to you, still go to the next person, go to the next person, start the next project, put money here, put money there, put money there. This is the way Venus in Aries comes out on top. High initiative. So, this aligned with the Leo ascendant energy is going to put you in a leadership position that says, even though you may be stubborn in your approach to consider other people being involved, that you will be able to sway a large enough amount of people into following what you're doing because you're actually doing something, you're taking action and following through, that people are going to be like, well, I'm going with him anyway because he's making moves or she's making moves. So you guys are still talking about it over there. Okay. I won't tell you how to utilize your finances. However, I will give you a heads up and say that with a Leo ascendant, Aries, a Venus in Aries, and a Sagittarius moon, be careful, be cautious. Utilize the Leo ascendant energy more than anything because it's stubborn, it's fixed over there, to look at your finances. Be aware that moon in Sagittarius can take you on a ride that you can regret. Now, keep in mind that your Leo ascendant is going to protect your Pisces. At the same time, this type of relationship in the stars, the Pisces is going to have to protect the Leo ascendant as well and say, listen, we both have this magnitude of creative energy, and we can do a lot more when you allow others to be involved. Because if not, you're not going to foster independence into your cohorts. What happens with that is you'll always find yourself footing the bill. And I'm not saying that it's going to take anything away from you. Like, you may like that. That may be exactly what you like to do because you have a Leo ascendant. However, do not complain about that later on in life. And, you may find resentment in your people later on or somewhere through the process because they may say, feel some type of envy for you, and they say, well, he's always getting the spotlight. When is my thing going to happen? And it's because your cohorts are so dependent upon you being the leader in that type of manner that they haven't figured out a way to be leaders of themselves. Like, you haven't built leaders, you have been the leader. Now, if this happens to you, like, it's really not your fault. This is your planetary placements. This is the way things are aligned for you. Now, if people don't pick up on it and they fall by the wayside because of the way that they interact with you, it pretty much falls on them. So I say that to say this, like, there's a lot of singular activity here. The best thing that's going to help you really in this situation is your Sagittarius moon, because Sagittarius moon is more like, okay, I see you there and I see you there, and I like to be here. However, I still like to pick people up that are here and say, come on. So that's going to be your beneficial factor as far as being a leader that actually does something meaningful outside of themselves. It's not so self-centered.
Things some say about you and all of the sexual things they say you